What's going on, guys? My name is Dan. This is EFC's book chat. We are on our very last book chat of Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 Agreements. Thank you all for tuning in though so far. If you like what I talk about, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, comment down below, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So chapter 7 and chapter 8, I think is kind of about perspective building or perspective shifting, etc. I think what Don Miguel has really done well is he's taken these very common principles that we all kind of strive to live by, or that we all really understand as important principles to have in life. Those principles being impeccable with your word, not taking things personally, not making assumptions, and always trying your best. Those are 4 common principles that I think we can all agree that we all want to achieve at some point in our life, right? Maybe just for a day, maybe just for a week, maybe the entirety of our life, we want to live by these principles. However, I think that these principles have always been very common, and common principles tend to lose their meaning after a while. And I think what Don Miguel Ruiz does well in his book is he helps build up these common principles with more concrete things that really make sense. And what I mean by that is that when I read this book and I think about, okay, well, how do I become impeccable with my words? I don't really think off the top of my head, well, being impeccable with my words means that I have to be impeccable to what I say to myself. But when I read it, it makes a lot of sense. And the same thing with not taking things personally, the same thing with not making assumptions, same thing with trying our best. These are all very common core principles that I think, at least for myself, I've lost the meaning of them. And after reading this book, I've found this renewed sense of, that make more sense to me now. That before, I think these common principles, I try my best to live by them, but I don't think I had a strong enough grasp of these common principles to really, really live my life in that way. Don Miguel Ruiz says in chapter 7 in the beginning, the chapter is entitled Heaven on Earth. He says, the dream you are living is your creation. It is your perception of reality that you can change at any time. You have the power to create hell and you have the power to create heaven. Why not dream a different dream? And what Don Miguel does is he empowers us with these common principles to be able to dream a dream that is different than what we lived yesterday. A dream where we can be impeccable to ourselves and we can be impeccable to others. How we can take feedback without being defensive. How we can communicate effectively and clearly and not make any assumptions. How we can actually live life with purpose and passion, with commitment, because we're trying our best on the things that we want to do. He gives us these tools to add to our tool belt so that we can go out into society and be able to not judge others, be able to respect others, because we respect ourselves and we are no longer judging ourselves based off of the unattainable responsibilities and expectations that we sometimes put so heavily on ourselves. So I think that's what my main takeaways of this book really are. Of course, when it comes to the relevance of executive function coaching, I think a lot of the times, a lot of it comes down to helping my clients view a different perspective than when they did coming into our sessions. For a lot of my clients, they've gone through so many therapy sessions, so many coaching sessions with other therapists, other coaches, that it's not necessarily that they don't understand the common principles of how to initiate a task with purpose, how to set a goal, how to plan, how to keep management of their time, how to shift, how to control their emotions. These executive functions have been things that have been drilled into them time and time again, but what has happened is that maybe their perspective just wasn't ready for these skills. Maybe the coaches or the therapists didn't spend enough time really building my clients up to be able to accept the strategies that I'm teaching. And that's actually one of the things that I try my very best, when I have the time, and I always communicate to my clients to really allow the beginning of our coaching sessions to be dedicated to shifting and building a different perspective. That's why I do mindfulness. That's why I do reflective journaling, because once we're able to kind of reflect and view our world differently, then we're able to adopt new skills and new strategies to replace the old skills and old strategies that didn't really work. But in order to do that, we have to change our perspective. We have to accept that these new things could work. We have to accept that we have to look deeply within ourselves to ask ourselves what the obstacles and what the purpose of everything that we're doing really is. And when my clients are able to do that, then when we see magnificent, like crazy amounts of change in their lives, that, you know, I'm at the end of the day just somebody that helps guide them to the end goal of becoming independent, becoming productive in their own eyes, becoming valuable in their own eyes. And I'm emphasizing their own eyes, because at the end of the day, just like what Don Miguel Ruiz says, is that we all have the power to create the dream that we want to create. We are storytellers, and we have every right to tell our own stories. I hope you guys found that as helpful or insightful, or at least a bit interesting. If you do, you know, please like this video, comment down below, and look forward to talking to you guys about the next book for February, or I think end of January, beginning of February. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.